Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see the next component of a RDBMS, which is a schema. In the previous video, we have seen all the list of important RDBMS component or the object. And first object we have seen as a database. We have seen how database is created, how it is dropped, and what is the use of database. Now let's talk about the schema. Okay. So the word schema is very special because it is different meaning in different context. In this video, we will focus on the meaning of schema in context of SQL only. But I want to let you know what are the other meanings associated with this word schema. So there are different meaning of the schema. For example, if we are talking about the word schema in the word of SQL, then it has a different meaning. And if we are talking about the word in the word of data warehousing, then it is a separate meaning. And if we are talking the word schema in context of Spark or Databricks, then it has a separate meaning. Even though this video is related to only the schema meaning in SQL, but it's better to know what are the other meaning associated with the word schema. So we'll see in short in each context. So in SQL, if we are talking about Oracle DB, then schema is equivalent to a username. Okay, so we can say in case of Oracle DB, username is equal to schema. And if we are talking about all other databases, then a user can create multiple schema. Let me explain. So if suppose we have created 10 users in a Oracle database, so the Oracle database automatically will create 10 schema and it will assign each of the schema to individual user. The schema name will be same as the username. So the word schema can be interchangeably used in Oracle between user and schema. It is basically a logical folder, you can say, inside a database server. So we have seen like in database server we can create a database. So inside database we will store a large number of tables, right? But if you want to organize those tables, so we can create different schema and we can arrange the different tables inside each schema. For example, if there are uh, hundreds of table and 10 tables are related to employee, so we can create an employee schema and we can store all the employee related table inside employee that schema. And similarly we can create department schema, HR schema, okay, sales schema, marketing schema, or whatever based on our need. So that is the use of schema. And similarly in other database also, inside any database we can create multiple schema. So any user has access to the particular database, he can create n number of schema and he can organize their object table indexes views inside individual schemas. So both are having a slightly different meaning in Oracle and in other databases, but more or less both are having a same concept. Okay, we'll see more in detail going forward. Let's talk about the schema meaning in data warehousing. So in data warehousing, the word schema means the modeling, modeling of a data warehouse. So in a data warehouse, there are multiple tables. So how those tables are linked to each other, how those tables are organized, that modeling is done through different schemas like star. Okay, then we have snowflake, then we have this galaxy schema, etc. So these terms are called as schema: star, snowflake, galaxy, etc. in context of data warehousing. So if someone asks you what is a schema in data warehousing, you can simply say it's a modeling technique, how that data warehouse is modeled we can define that in term of schemas like star, snowflake, galaxy, etc. Okay. Now if we are talking about the Spark or Databricks, so the word schema means the structure of the data. Structure of the data. What does it mean? It means if we have created a table in Spark or Databricks, how the table is designed, how many columns are there, what is the name of each column, what is the data type of each column, those kind of details, we call that as a schema of the table. Okay. So the structure of the data is known as schema. So now you know what is the meaning of schema in different contexts. Now let's focus on the schema meaning in SQL context. Okay. So as I have already said, it's a grouping of related data under a common name. Okay. It is used for organizing the data in a better way. Another definition says a schema is a logical folder inside a database that groups related objects like table, views, and procedure under a single name. Okay. In a previous all analogy, when we were talking about a database, we have seen we can consider a database as a container inside a database server, right? So if in that container there are huge number of tables, and if you want to organize those tables, we can create multiple folders, right, inside a container. So those folders we can consider as schemas. It is not actually a folder, but it is just a namespace or any name given to a set of object. Another definition we have, it helps organize data within a database similar to folders inside a drive. Hope this is clear now. Okay. Now we will see why we are creating schema. Okay. What is the importance of a schema? I have listed down 5 important reasons for which we are creating schema. First one is logical organization. As we have already seen, if you want to organize the similar data or the related data together under a common name, we can create a schema. For example, inside a database, there are thousands of tables and there are different department and different employees are there, different departments are there. Okay, some HRs are there, and in some of the tables we are storing sales data. So we can create different schemas with the relevant name like employee schema, HR schema, sales schema, product schema, etc. Second reason is access control and security. For example, if you want to give only the HR people access to the tables where HR data is stored. Okay, so if you give the access to HR people uh, based on a particular database, so they will have access to all the tables present inside the database, right? Which is a security violation. They can see any other data, any other department data as well, other than HR. So you can give access to only the HR related data based on the schema, because we have all the HR related tables created inside a separate schema called HR. So we can simply give access to only the HR schema. Okay. The third reason is avoid name conflict. For example, if we have different department inside a different department related tables inside a database. So in each department there will be some employees, right? So each department will try to create their employee table. So there will be multiple employee tables inside a database, which is not allowed. There will be a name conflict. When you will try to create a table, it will say the table already exists. So what you can do, you can create a table with same name inside different schema. Okay, this is another use case. Fourth one is easier maintenance and migration. Suppose you want to move or delete all the data for a particular schema. Okay, but if you don't have the schema, you will need to manually see what are the related table and then delete one by one. But if you have all the related table inside a schema name, you can delete or move or copy or any other operation you can do on the schema level. You don't need to do on a each and every table. Okay, that is another important reason why we create schemas. The fifth one is separation of environment. Okay, if you if you have a single database server for which is covering all the environment, when once while you are working in a project, live project, so there will be dev, QA, SIT, production, different environments are there, right? You know. So if so what we can do, we can, if we have a single server containing all the environment, what we can do, we can create a different schema based on the environment, like dev schema, prod schema, QA schema, SIT schema, etc. So that just seeing at the schema name, you get to know like these tables are related to which environment. This is another important reason of creating schemas. Okay, now you know why schema is important, what is the meaning of a schema, and how it is created. Let's try to see the syntax of a schema. For creating a schema, it is simple as creating a database, create a schema and a schema name. It will create your schema. Then inside the schema, you can create any object. If you want to drop the schema and that schema has already a lot of object inside that, you can use this command. This is a keyword cascade you need to use. So it will drop the schema along with all the objects. But if you want to delete the schema and there is no object inside it, you don't need to use this cascade keyword. You can simply use drop schema and schema name. It will drop the schema. Now let's practically see how we can create a schema. So here we can see the list of available DBs. We can connect to the any DB inside. We can click right click and we can go to the query tool. This is one way, or we can directly right click and click on create and schema. This is one way of creating it, but we are going to see how we can create a schema using query. So we can simply type here create schema and we can give a schema name sch underscore harsh or sales we can give. Okay, if we run this command, it has created a schema successfully. You want to verify if the schema is created, you can reload this page and then inside the database we have created a schema inside this DB, right? You can see inside schema section, this schema has been created sch underscore sales. Now if you want to create any object inside this schema, you can simply click on query tool. So now whatever object you will create here, create table, create view, indexes, everything will be created inside this sch schema. Okay, or if you are inside any other schema, for example public, and if you want to create object inside sch sales schema, so you can simply write like this create table, then you can use the schema name sch underscore sales, then you can use your table name. Okay, so like that, the table which you will create will get created inside sch sales schema. So that's it for this video. I hope now you have the clear understanding of the word schema. See you in the next video.